of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their services. Who do we have there first?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. Hope you're doing well.
I am, Francois. I hope you are as well.
Thank you. I have position number 11, Mrs. Merritt, and that belongs to Ms. McLeod. There she goes.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Good afternoon, Ms. Merritt. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002277B with battery family violence. Is Mr. Howard on with us as of yet? I know that he was trying to get the recommendations together.
No, sir, he's not in yet.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Sirocco. Do you have the history for me?
No criminal history, Judge.
Okay, very good. Good afternoon. You can proceed.
Thank you. This incident took place, it was on April 29th, 2025 at 1888 Emory Street, Northwest Atlanta. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute call there, and upon arrival was met by the leasing manager, who informed that the defendant was inside her office. The officer spoke with the victim in this case, as well, Chrisdell Gadlin, CHRISDELL who explained that the defendant, who is his live-in girlfriend, pulled his hair, causing bald spots on his scalp. The defendant stated that she and the victim had an argument and that she didn't want to have sex with him, that he became upset, went outside, she locked him out. And the victim stated that after the defendant had asked him to leave, he started packing his belongings, realized he didn't have his phone, waited outside to see if she would let him back in, and that the defendant was taunting him, stating he wouldn't be getting anything. And when she saw that she had his phone, he attempted to grab it and it broke in her mouth, apparently. Anyway, the officer observed the defendant had bruising in her mouth from biting down on the phone and lacerations on her inner finger from falling on broken glass and minor scratches in the chest and neck. It sounds like there was a scrabble between them. The defendant was found to be the primary aggressor because of the taking of the phone and the pulling of the hair, resulting in bald patches. And as well, the defendant's statements with respect to those, the officer noted inconsistencies. We have tried to reach out to the victim in this case. We've not been successful, but we'll continue those efforts. The state is asking for a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. Absolutely no further contact with Chrisdell Gatlin. There are two other open cases where he is the defendant and she is the victim. So we want no contact between them whatsoever. We're not asking for a stay away in this case because we do have the victim's address as of last November as being different unit in the complex, but the previous cases are both battery family violence. The defendant seems to be the one who lives there full time at the location, as well as no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and we would sound for Mr. Gatlin when appropriate.
Mr. Gatlin is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Did we lose courtroom 2? Are we okay? You all still with us?
Yes, Judge. FYI, our computer has been acting really funny all day today, so hopefully it just keeps going out.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on you all.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. McLeod, any objection to any of the state's requests?
No objection, Your Honor. I just wanted to also state that, well, the state said it, they are open cases. My client is definitely the victim in all of this, and she tells me that he was the one who attacked her in this most recent incident as well. My client is a law student. She's a first-year law student. She doesn't have a record or anything, and we believe that when this case comes to trial, we'll be able to prove that she's innocent. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, as such, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Mr. Gatlin. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good
Thank
luck
you,
to
Your
you.
Honor.
You're welcome, Ms. McLeod. Good luck to you, Ms. Merritt. Good afternoon, Mr. Fortis. Do you have a client before on my calendar today?
I do, Your Honor. It's good to see you today. I have Mr. Santon Smith.
Francois, are we able to take Mr. Smith next?
Absolutely.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002275J with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and a second count of battery, family violence. Did Mr. Howard get on with me yet? He has sent me his court notes.
No, sir.
Okay, I can give his court notes, Mr. Sirocco, or you can give me the history, whichever you prefer.
You can proceed, Judge, and I can fill in the blanks if there are any.
Okay, it's my understanding that this is Mr. Smith's seventh arrest, possession of marijuana in 2019, parole violation in 15, FTA in 14. I'm not guilty on a charge that I won't mention, an obstruction in 13 that was NOD'd. Anything further, Mr. Rocco? Mr. Rocco?
Trying to figure out whether the one you didn't want to mention is something that I wanted to provide or not.
Well, I would imagine that it would be.
What year was that, Judge?
14.
Yes, and I can comment on it very briefly.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the charge is, but the fact that the court doesn't feel inclined to speak on that, I would ask that it not be done.
And it was a not guilty verdict.
Right. I don't really think that there should be any
Yeah.
comment on not guilties. I think
I
we
have a
should-
guilty verdict, Judge, on 2 different counts.
Okay. Why don't you put those into the chat for me, Mr. Sirocco?
For you, Judge? Or,
And send it to Mr. Fortis as well.
okay.
Okay, the one that that I have was not one of those. So you can go ahead, Mr. Sirocco. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's the one we were referring to is a possession of firearm or knife during commission of a felony and participation in criminal street gang activity from 2015. This incident took place April 30th, 2025 at 960 Constitution Road in the apartment complex there in Atlanta. Law enforcement was stationed at a fixed post when the officer heard a loud verbal disturbance, and upon investigation made contact with the victim in this case, Tori Barber, who explained that the defendant, whom she's been in a romantic relationship with for 2 years and stays at her residence nightly, had battered her. Essentially, she reported that while celebrating her birthday, the defendant became upset when he wasn't able to find her. There was an argument that began over the phone, escalated when she returned home. The officer transported the victim to her apartment where he observed visible damage to the bedroom door consistent with forced entry. The victim had visible injuries, including abrasions to her hand, missing fingernails, red marks around her neck, which she attributed to being choked by the defendant. The defendant he later voluntarily came to the zone precinct to provide a statement. And when asked about her injuries, he was unable to provide an explanation. The officer noted the victim may have been exhibiting signs of the reconciliation phase of the abuse cycle, as text messages on the defendant's phone showed the victim admitting to lying to the police to keep the defendant out of trouble. However, the victim never recanted her statement about the physical assault. It was just this this ordeal with the purse, a missing purse, whether he took it or not. He was then placed under arrest. That damage to the door was attributed to him. We have spoken with the victim in this case. She confirmed they are in a relationship. They do live together. They don't share children. She affirmed the defendant did kick the door in, and they were pushing each other. She has denied, however, the defendant took her purse or choked her. She has, excuse me, she said that she did have injuries to her hand from them pushing each other, but that what was observed on her neck were hickeys. She stated that she is not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact, and wants him to return to the residence. We asked the court to sound for her when appropriate. The state are not comfortable at all with him returning to the residence or having contact with her. The facts here are alarming, and we're concerned for her safety and for risk of reoffense here. The state's recommendation is a $2,500 surety on each battery family violent count and a $1,000 on the criminal trespass for a total of $6,000 surety. Anger awareness, no further contact with Tori Barber. That's 1 day anger awareness. Stay away from 960 Constitution Road apartment complex, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Tori Barber is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear that she's with us. Yes, Mr. Fortis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before the court would be Mr. Smith. He's 31 years of age. They have been on in again, off again relationship over the last 1 or 2 years. Correct, there are no children. My client is gainfully employed as a security officer at the Cascade skating rink, where he's been there for over a year. His entire family lives here. He's been here his entire life. Judge, you know, the stories kind of go both ways in this case. The state's reached out to her. I don't know whether it's a good idea for them to have contact or not contact, but to the extent that they have contact, there was nothing that the state said regarding any previous instances where the police were called to the residence. Not only that, even going through his criminal history, I didn't see any family violence batteries. I didn't see any simple batteries. I didn't see anything here where she was an alleged victim in another case or another report. So even assuming that it may be a one-off, I don't know, but the reality of it is I'm asking for a lower bond. I think 6,000 is a little excessive. Number one, I would ask for half of that, Judge. For $3,000 bond, that would be 1,500 on each battery, and then a 500. I think if my math is correct, whatever. I'm asking for 3,000. I'm okay with the anger awareness. I think that that's good, for all parties involved. But regarding contact, I would ask for no violent contact. Whether they want to have contact or not, I don't know. But I mean, at least that she's verbalized to the state that she does want contact. So that's what I would ask the court.
Okay. For each of the battery charges will be a $1,000 good bond. For the criminal trespass, a $500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $2,500 good bond. I don't think there's been enough cooling off period as of yet. So for now, no further contact with Ms. Barber. Stay away from the Constitution Road address. He can go back to that address if necessary on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If there's a longer cooling off period and Ms. Barber wishes to petition or Mr. Smith wishes to petition the court for contact, then they can modify the bond at some later date.
I think that's
Okay.
right, Judge. Thank you very much, and I appreciate that.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Have a good day.
Do the same. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith. Did
And
we
Mr. Smith,
lose?
And Mr. Smith, I don't see the jail on.
Yeah, I think we lost them again.
You want me to hang on, Judge?
I can tell him that you're gonna contact him, Mr. Fortis, if you want me to, or you can hang on, whichever you prefer.
Whatever you're comfortable with, Your Honor. I'm
Okay,
here.
well, here he is. Here he
Okay.
is.
I don't know what he heard last or if he heard everything and we just couldn't
Okay.
see him. I don't know.
What did you hear? What was heard last, Francois?
The last thing, Judge, I'm not sure because I don't know, Judge.
Okay, let me start over then. So Mr. Smith, for each of your battery charges will be $1,000 good bond. For the criminal trespass will be a $500 good bond, making for a total of a $2,500 good bond. At this point in time, no further contact with Miss Barber and stay away from the Constitution Road address. I am going to allow you to go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings if you choose to. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and 1-day anger awareness. As I was saying, that if down the road, once there's a cooling off period, if you all wish to petition the court to modify the bond to have contact, then we'll consider it at that time. Mr. Fortis?
That's correct, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, anything else you want to say to Mr. Smith?
I'll contact your family, let them know what's going on. Okay, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good luck to you. Take care, Mr. Fortis.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you as always.
How you
Yes.
doing? Fine, how you?
Judge, we can do the case in Alpharetta Annex. That should be position number 12.
Okay. Miss, is this Miss Perino? Can you unmute there for me, Alpharetta Annex?
Sorry. She's here, Judge.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Perino. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002276A with criminal trespass. Mr. Howard, I think you joined us.
Yeah, I'm at third arrest. 07 FTA. She doesn't have any trespass. I should have put jail, but
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. That's what I have as well. This incident took place, it was August 30th of 2023 at 507 Harbor Landing in Roswell. It's the Lake House at Martin's Landing Apartments. That's what that's called. Law enforcement responded to a report of a vehicle that had its tires slashed. Upon arrival, law enforcement made contact with the victim, Miss Rachel Ellis, who directed the officer to her vehicle, and at which point he observed that 3 of her tires had been punctured. The victim explained that she had parked her vehicle in front of her friend's apartment. That friend's name is Tikana Kamen Gajella. I apologize if I'm butchering that. It's TICONNAACAMMON hyphen Gajella, GAJJELA. She parked that in front of the apartment at roughly 21:30 hours. So I guess that would be 9:30, if I'm not mistaken. I could be incorrect. And discovered the damaged tires at 2200 hours. So 10 p.m. During the investigation, Miss Kamen Gajella advised that she had been in a recent dispute with someone who was later identified as a defendant, who was currently dating her ex-boyfriend. The two had been exchanging disrespectful messages, and it had gotten worse. The defendant previously sent videos of her outside of Takana's apartment complex, and the victim stated that she believed the damage was intended for Takana, as she did not have any issues with anyone. When interviewed, the defendant admitted to arguing with Takana via text and social media, and claimed that she was at work at the time of the incident, but phone records obtained from Verizon showed the defendant's phone had left her workplace at 21:07 hours. was stagnant in the area of the victim's residence from of the victim's friend's residence from 21:36 to 21:45 hours, and then traveled to McDonald's. A warrant was issued for her arrest. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Rachel Ellis or Takana Gammon Gagella. Stay away from the lake house at Martin's Landing Apartments at 507 Harbor Landing in Roswell, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. We would, of course, ask that the court sound for Miss Rachel Ellis. If she's present, we weren't able to speak with her, but we will continue those efforts.
If either of the alleged victims are with us and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity. Good afternoon, Ms. Patton. Is this your case?
It is, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are as well.
Yes, thank you. Your Honor, there's no objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with either of the alleged victims. Stay away from 507 Harbor Lane, the lake house at Arbor Landing's apartment, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Perino.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
Next,
You
Judge.
still-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure Ms. Perino doesn't have a question. She appears a bit confused. Are you fine, Ms. Perino?
Yes,
Okay, all right. You have a good afternoon, ma'am.
you too.
Okay, I'm sorry, Francois. Where are we going now?
Next, Judge, we have position number 1, Mr. Braxton.
Good afternoon, Mr. Braxton. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002267F with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second adult arrest. On probation, DeKalb County. Robbery, ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission.
Afternoon, Ms. Nalgiza.
Hi, Your Honor. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 4th, 2024. The location is 3836 Adamsville Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Upon arrival at the scene, officers observed both the defendant and the victim standing outside the residence. As officers approached, the victim came towards them while the defendant retreated into the home. The victim informed officers that she was at the location at the defendant's request. He had asked her to come over so they could talk. During the course of their conversation, the defendant became upset. He physically dragged her out of the house and grabbed her by the upper body. The victim stated that she attempted to break free and struggle against the defendant's hold. During the struggle, the altercation turned physical. When the victim attempted to call the police, the defendant forcibly took her phone and keys and threw them on the floor. Her phone was shattered as a result. Officers noted a fresh abrasion on the right side of the victim's neck, just below her ear. The victim stated that while she and the defendant have had prior verbal altercations, this was the first time the situation became physical. Officers attempted to make contact with the defendant by knocking on the front door. However, a third party at the scene advised that the defendant had exited the residence through the back door. Officers conducted a search, but were unable to locate the defendant at the time. The victim and the defendant do not live together. At least they didn't in 2024 when the incident took place. And the incident location is the defendant's residence, not the victim's residence. And they share, I believe, 1 or 2 children. I'm not sure the exact number of children that they share. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, 2-day anger awareness, no further contact with Whitney Cannon, the victim in this case. Third-party contact if the defendant wants to see the children. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. If we can please sound for the victim is Whitney Cannon in case she is present and wishes to be heard. That is all for the state.
And it's my understanding, Ms. Malgeza, that the state's recommending a signature bond in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell me the name of the alleged victim again, please.
It's Whitney Cannon.
Ms. Kennan is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Here, so Ms. Patton.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ask to clarify what the state said after the signature bond. The internet went out.
Okay.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Today, anger awareness, no further contact with Whitney Cannon. Third-party contact if the defendant wants to see the children. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, Your Honor, there's no objection to the state's recommendation.
Okay, as such, for the battery will be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the criminal trespass, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3 makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 2-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim, third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Excuse me,
luck,
Judge,
Mr.
courtroom 2 is not coming on now.
Oh, okay, thank you. So are you back with me?
Yes, Judge, we're back.
Okay, let me go through that again. For the battery, a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the criminal trespass, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3 makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 2-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victim. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Braxton.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor.
Judge, next we have position number 2, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay, thank
Good
you.
afternoon, Mr. Brown. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002269D with 2 counts of simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 2023 battery DV conviction. Hold on. 2020 battery DV, he got PTI, and it was dismissed after that. This is 5th arrest.
Okay. Ms. Malgezo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from March 12th, 2025. The location is 3700 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. This is where the victim works or worked at the time that the incident took place. Your Honor, on March 13th, 2025, officers spoke with the victim, Ms. Nikisha Williams. She reported that her ex-boyfriend, the defendant, was in possession of her vehicle and was refusing to return it. The victim stated that the day prior, on March 12th, she had attempted to leave for work when the defendant became upset and took her car keys. According to the victim, both she and the defendant ended up in the vehicle with the defendant driving. While driving her around, the defendant intermittently stopped the vehicle to physically attack her by punching her in the face and ribs. The defendant eventually drove the victim to a location across the street from her workplace and forcibly pushed her out of the vehicle. As the victim attempted to run towards her job, the defendant chased after her, continued to yell at her, and push her into a nearby bush. He then fled the scene in the victim's vehicle. The victim stated that she reported the incident on the 13th and not on March 12th, the day the incident occurred, because she just wanted her car back. The victim further advised that she does not live with the defendant, but he frequently comes to her residence, and they have had multiple prior domestic disputes in East Point. Your Honor, there is a case 23 CR 0034001A, where the defendant was found guilty of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence against the same victim, Miss Williams. He also has a 2021 battery, family violence in East Point, which was dismissed. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, 2-day anger awareness, no further contact with Miss Williams, stay away from the victim's home. The address is 3190 Spanish Trail, Atlanta, Georgia, and also her place of work, which is 3700 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. If we can please sound for the victim, Miss Williams, in case she wishes to be heard. That is all for the state.
Ms. Williams is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Ms. Patton?
Your Honor, we are going to request a signature bond in this case. The alleged victim and Mr. Brown have been off and on for 7 years. And so there have been conflicts within the relationship, but the victim hasn't had extensive contact with the victim over the past year. He works out of town. He does not remember this incident, and believes that on the date in question that he was actually out of town. So we're going to be asking for a signature bond in this case. He has a child currently at Jackson State University. And he works again out of town. He works at McLean Distribution based in Noonan. He's a native to Georgia. He attended Tri-Cities High School. He attended trade school in 2012. And, he has strong ties to the community. We believe that he would not be of any danger to the victim in this case.
Okay, for each charge will be a $500 good bond, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Williams. Stay away from both her home and business addresses. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Raise your hand, let him acknowledge you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. Again, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Ms. Patton's here to represent you. If you need to say something, I would think that she'd probably want to hear what you're going to say first to make sure it's not adverse against your interests, okay? I don't want you saying something that's going to get you in any more trouble, okay?
Right. Mr. Brown, remember we had a conversation prior to court starting about statements. And if you have anything you want to say, I'd wait for you to be able to communicate that to an attorney after court.
I just want to say something in front of the judge. I got to, Your Honor. If you call my company right now, they'll verify that I was in no area at this time. And I was in Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, and the person that y'all talking about, this is not me.
Okay, you'll be able to present your case at a later time, Mr. Brown, okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, we can go ahead and go to South Annex and do position number 3, Mr. Daniels.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Daniels. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002273J with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, he's been in custody since last year on capital charges.
Okay. Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place on April 7th of this year at 901 Rice Street, Northwest Atlanta. That's the Fulton County Jail. Law enforcement responded to a help call on one of the floors regarding a physical altercation that sounds like it was started over juice between inmates. Upon arrival, the officer was informed that inmates in the zone had assaulted the victim in this case, Mr. Christian Troy, who was working as a night orderly passing out meds, food, care, whatnot. The defendant had punched the victim in the face, causing him to seek medical attention. Prior to the assault, another resident had gotten into a disagreement with the victim and had slapped the victim, after which point the defendant hit the victim and other residents joined in, assaulting the victim as well. Following the incident, he was escorted to medical, and it was noted as well that Fenn had been involved in several previous reports involving fighting and assault, and another incident where he took a television off the wall. Following this, he was relocated from his cell to a different one. With respect to history, he was convicted of armed robbery in 2007, sentenced to 15 years, 10 years confinement, and he has arrests for ag assault, armed robbery, possession of firearm or knife during commission. That was 2019, Noel Prost, felony terroristic threats and acts, and ag battery. 2 cases that were for which he was arrested for in 2019. I don't have the dispositions for those. And most recently, well, not most recently, but he was convicted of disorderly conduct in 2022 with the terroristic threats and acts, Noel Prost, and he is an open case that he is also being held on for murder, felony murder, ag assault, and possession of a firearm or knife during commission of a felony. Among other charges, it seems that is set for trial this upcoming month. Now, given the defendant's history of violent cases, including the armed robbery conviction and the open case, he posed a risk of reoffense and a risk to the peace and safety of the community. As such, the state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety, no further contact with Christian Troy, who we would ask the court sound for when appropriate. We weren't able to reach him. He may still be in custody there. And no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Was Mr. Troy an inmate, or was he?
An inmate, Judge.
Well, he was an inmate as well? Okay, thank you. Ms. McLeod, good, yes.
Yes, Your Honor. As the state has stated, my client has been in jail. He's been incarcerated for well over a year. So, of course, he doesn't have any kind of resources to post bond. My understanding is that he's going to trial next month. If he's acquitted, he still won't have any money to pay bond. So it would mean that he would be still sitting in jail. So under the circumstances, I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so that in the event that he's acquitted from this charge that he has, he's able to get out of jail and try to restart his life. Nothing further, Your Honor. By the way, he also denies, I did speak to him, and he didn't have any idea why he was being brought to court, because he told me that to his knowledge, he's not done anything while he's been locked up. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, at this time, it'll be a $3,000 good bond, no further, to the extent possible, no further contact with Mr. Troy. I understand they're both in the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If he's acquitted of the other charges, Ms. McLeod, he can petition the court for a modification of this bond at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good rest of your day. Thank you as
Thank you.
always.
You too, Your Honor.
And good luck to you, Mr. Daniels.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next, Judge, we have position number 4, Mr. Freeman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Freeman. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002266D with criminal trespass and damage to property and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fourth arrest, 2022 simple battery DV conviction. A 2016 robbery dismissed. 2015 ag assault armed robbery dismissed as well. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Melgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from February 26, 2025. The location is 206 Harwell Place Northwest, Apartment A, Atlanta, Georgia. The officer spoke with the victim, Ms. Alexandria Bruce. who stated that on the evening prior, she had an argument with the defendant, who is her ex-boyfriend. Law enforcement was called to the scene at the time, and the responding officers ordered the defendant to leave the location. The defendant complied and left the premises. On the morning of the 26th, February 26th, the victim went to the courthouse to file a restraining order against the defendant. Upon returning home, she attempted to use her television and discovered that the screen was damaged. The responding officer observed that the television display was distorted and malfunctioning on the right side. The damage appeared consistent with the screen having been struck at the lower right corner. The victim also directed the officer's attention to her Wi-Fi router, which had its power cable visibly cut. The victim also stated that most of the defendant's belongings were gone from the residence. Your Honor, this defendant has a 2022 case for simple battery, family violence against the same victim. We did speak with the victim, Ms. Bruce. She said that they're no longer together. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She said that she wants no contact with the defendant and he wants him to stay away from her residence. We did listen to some of the jail calls, and the victim tells the defendant that she's tired of him always threatening her. The state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond, no further contact with Alexandria Bruce, stay away from 206 Harwell Place Northwest, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. If we can please sound for Ms. Bruce, in case she wishes to be heard. That is all for the state.
Okay, Ms. Rose is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Okay, whose case is this? Mr. McLean, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you. Austin Freeman is 30. He has a stable address. He has community contacts, reached his phone numbers. With these two damage counts, we would ask for a signature bond, Your Honor, considering the circumstances. Hopefully there's been no problem in the last 2 months. Thank you.
For each charge, it will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the Harwell Place address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Freeman.
Next judge, I have position number 5, Mr. Haney.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Haney. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002265Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second, 2017 DUI, reduced to reckless driving conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Malgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 29, 2025. The location is 1010 Mayfield Manor Drive, Alpharetta, Georgia. The victim, Delene Carstensen, and the defendant lived together at the incident location. The defendant is dating the victim's mother, Miss Gearhart. Officers spoke with the victim, who was in her room crying. She stated that her and the defendant got into a verbal argument because the defendant let her cats get out of the house. So she had to go and retrieve them and bring them back inside. The victim told officers that during the verbal argument, the defendant pushed her. She stated that she was scared, and her mom got in between the victim and the defendant. The victim said that she and the defendant do not get along, but that nothing physical has ever happened before. Officers also spoke with the defendant, who stated pretty much the same, that him and the victim got into an argument because he accidentally let the cats out, that he lost his temper, and that he pushed her. Ms. Gearhart, the victim's mother, told officers that this is not normal, and that they usually just argue when the defendant lets the cats out of the house. We did speak with the victim. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She doesn't feel comfortable being around the defendant. She wants no contact and for him to stay away from the residence. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Deline Carstensen, that's Carstensen. Stay away from 1010 Mayfield Manor Drive, Alpharetta, one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve his belongings, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. We can please sound for the victim in case she's present and wishes to be heard.
Ms. Carstensen is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Hanning has been in Georgia for over 8 years. He's got plenty of community contacts and should have no trouble finding another place. In the meantime, we note that he is a dance instructor for over 25 years and has a bachelor's degree. And so we would ask the court to grant the signature bond that the state is in favor of. Thank you.
Your client has his hand up, Mr. McLean.
He can call me at 2-5215 and I'll mute the Zoom while I answer his question.
Okay.
There's a phone to his right.
No. McLean, what's your number?
You're on mute, Mr. McLean.
2-5215. Thanks.
Say it again.
2-5215.
Are the rest of the cases Mr. McLean's cases?
I would think so.
Okay. I think that we lost courtroom 2 again. Yeah.
Your Honor, what has come up is he's been informed that she's moved out or is moving out. And I told him that with the one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve belongings, that if the law enforcement officer finds that she has moved out, then Your Honor would probably be okay with him staying. And I said I would ask the court to confirm that notion.
That's fine. Ms. Melgiza, do you know whether or not Miss Yearhart, is that her name, wishes to continue a relationship with him?
I'm not sure about that, but we spoke with the victim today and she said that she lives at the location. She didn't say that she was moving out.
Okay, so while she's there, he can't be there, but if she moves out and Miss Yearhart wants him back, then I'll allow him to go. Okay, you back with us?
Judge.
Okay, as such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Carstensen. At this point in time, stay away from the Mayfield Maynard address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. If Ms. Carstensen has moved out by that time and Ms. Yearhart wants Mr. Haney back, then he can remain at that location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Position number 6, Mr. Howard.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0022748 with simple battery. Is there a history?
19 on federal probation, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. 2024 federal probation violation. 2017 simple battery conviction. 2017 battery trespass conviction. I had a 2010 ag assault not prosecuted. 2016 battery dismissed.
Belgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from July 2nd, 2024. The location is 4900 Delane Road, Delano Road, Atlanta, Georgia. On the day of the incident, the defendant punched the victim in the face with a closed fist. Your Honor, we have not been able to talk to the victim, but given the criminal history, I don't know if Mr. Howard mentioned this, but on 2017, he was charged with battery, substantial physical harm, another simple battery in 2017, a simple battery which was reduced from aggravated assault in 2011. So given the criminal history showing a propensity to commit violent crimes against others, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Ashley Juice. Stay away from 4900 Delane Road, Atlanta, Georgia. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And if we can please sound for Ms. Ashley Juice in case she's present and wishes to be heard.
Ms. Ashley Juice is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Howard's 40. He has a McDaniel Street address where he lives with his sister, her 3 children, and her husband. So there should be no problem in staying away from Delano Road. He went to Carver High School. He has his own business, a cleaning service, and has done so for years. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond.
It will be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Juice. Stay away from the Delano Road address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, Judge, we have position number 7, Mr. Johnson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002268C with simple battery and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17 2019 probation. 2019 giving false name, no law. 2016 FTA. 2016 felony theft by taking conviction. 2014 FTA. 2010 battery, Henry 911 call conviction. And the 08 simple battery, no law.
Ms. Belgiza?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 30th, 2025. Location is the Claremont Hotel at 789 Ponce de Leon Avenue, Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia. Officers spoke with the victim, Ms. Goldsby, Goolsby. She worked security at the location. She stated that the defendant was upset because he could not get a room at the hotel. The reason why the defendant couldn't get a room is because the hotel was at full capacity and there were no rooms available. The victim asked the defendant to leave multiple times and he began arguing with her. The victim tried to walk away and he pushed her. He pushed her in the back and then he pushed her head. The defendant seemed to be intoxicated and again, he refused to leave. Another witness, Ms. Nakima Middlebrooks, was present for the entire dispute and confirmed the victim's statements to the officers. We did get a chance to speak with the victim today. She said that the defendant refused to leave the property, was calling her a lot of names. When she began to call the police and try to walk away, that's when the defendant pushed her in the head and called her a B word. The victim stated that now she's in danger of losing her job due to this incident. She wants no contact with the defendant, and she wants him to stay away from the hotel. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, no further contact with Ms. Shumkivia Goldsby, stay away from Claremont Hotel, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. If we can please sound for the victim in case she wishes to be heard.
If Ms. Goolsby is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Doesn't appear so. Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Your Honor. Kenneth Johnson lives in the 30311 postal zone, so zip code. So he's easily can stay quite far away from the Claremont Hotel and obey the court's order, should that be part of the court order. He would ask the court to consider a signature bond, Your Honor. He is 39. He went to the 12th grade in high school. He is working on his GED right now, and he's going to finish that up, and it shows initiative. He works regularly in the hospitality industry. We think a signature bond would be appropriate. Thank you.
Simple battery will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 3. For the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 3 makes for a total of a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial level 3. No further contact with Ms. Goolsby. Stay away from the Claremont Hotel. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next judge, position number 8, Mr. Kemp.
How you doing, y'all?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, Mr. Kemp. You have been charged in case 25 CR 002270G with theft by shoplifting and possession and use of drug-related objects. Is your history, Mr. Howard?
46, 2019 felony theft by taking, 2015 felony shoplifting conviction. The 2019 felony theft by taking was a conviction, my bad. 2014 burglary, theft by taking, trespass conviction. 2010 theft by taking conviction. 2010 theft by receiving auto conviction.
Mr. Sirocco?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place, this would be yesterday, April 30th at 2429 MLK Junior Drive in Atlanta. It's the CVS located there. Law enforcement was in the area investigating a shoplifting incident when the store manager, Mr. Guy, G-U-I, B-N-M-E, B-I-E-N-E-M-I-E, called the officer to inform him that the defendant was actively stealing from the store. The officer observed the defendant across the street at the Chevron gas station located at 2456 MLK Drive and initiated a level 2 investigatory stop. Defendant exhibited signs of guilt, restlessness. He appeared as if he was going to flee and began actively resisting when the officer attempted to detain him. During that arrest, the defendant was found in possession of 9 chocolate bars from the CVS store and spontaneously uttered as well that he was just hungry, and following a search incident to arrest, the officer found a glass cylindrical object burnt at one end with a Brillo pad known as a crack pipe. The video footage shows the defendant entering the CVS and exiting with the merchandise past the point of purchase with no intention to pay. He was placed under arrest. As stated, he does have specifically theft by shoplifting convictions dating back to 1983. There's one in 2002, 2006, 2010, 2 in 2015, along with the history of other theft-related convictions that pretrial stated. As such, there is a risk of reoffense here. The state's recommendation consequently is $500 surety for each, the theft by shop and the possession and use of drug-related objects. For him to stay away from the CVS located at MLK Junior Drive, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
McLean?
Your Honor, Kenneth Kemp is 62 years old. He lives with his brother in his brother's house in 30310 area. And after the 9th grade, he went to the Job Corps and he works in landscaping. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond in this situation. If not, then the $1,000 surety bond would be the second choice that we would recommend.
We lost courtroom 2 again, so we'll, okay.
We're back, Judge.
Okay. So as such, it will be a $250 good bond per charge, makes for a total of a $500 good bond. Stay away from the CVS on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Kemp.
Position number 9, Mr. Martin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Martin. I'm doing well, thank you, sir. You've been charged in case 25 CR 002271B with simple battery family violence and simple assault family violence. It appears that Mr. Martin has a history. Mr. Howard?
Very extensive. Okay, 31. I got open criminal damage to property 2nd degree, possession of a Schedule 2, 25 PI 000538. Got an open case out of the cab for battery DV, battery, disorderly conduct, hindering emergency call. On probation out of the cab for burglary, smash, and grab. On probation out of Fulton, possession of a firearm by a felon. Possession of tools. Also on probation for felony shoplifting. On probation for felony theft by taking. On probation for another felony shoplifting. On probation for another felony shoplifting 4 counts. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 2024 FTA. They did have a 2023 riot, ag assault that was dismissed. I got FTAs from 2021, 2020, 3 from 2018, and a 2016 simple battery NOLA.
Thank you. Mr. Siraka?
Thank you, Judge. This incident took place February 16th, 2025 at 4265 Shirley Drive in South Fulton. Law enforcement responded to a call at the location and upon arrival, spoke with the victim, in this case, Ms. Cameshia Freeman, that's Cameshia, who explained that the defendant, who is the father of her daughter, had brought their child home and then tried to fight her. The victim explained the defendant went inside her room, clenched his fist, and then jumped at her as though he was going to strike her. She then stated the defendant spat on the left side of her face and then stated that her 5 children witnessed the incident and confirmed that also the defendant did not physically strike her, but did spit on her. The officer spoke to the juveniles who stated that they witnessed the spitting, and the defendant was not on scene at the time of the arrival, hence the delayed arrest until yesterday. Yeah, with respect to the history here, you heard a good bit. The simple battery, there's a simple battery 2016, pled NOLA to, or took a NOLA to several counts of simple battery family violence associated with that case were null-prossed, but you do have the NOLA just as well, disorderly conduct convictions from 2017, 2019, 2025, that first one being a simple assault charge as well, that was null-prossed. And you have what I'm counting here to be 7 FTAs since 2018, the most recent being 2024. You have the open case, the previous ag assaults cases, those were dismissed, but still violent cases. And just as well, you heard about the open battery DV out of DeKalb. Given this is not his first arrest for a family violence incident and his recent cases, numerous FTAs, he poses a risk of reoffense here, a danger to the victim, and also a risk that he won't show up to the next hearing. So the state's recommendation for this is a $3,000 surety bond on each count. Anger awareness, no further contact with Kamisha Freeman. Stay away from 4265 Shirley Drive in South Fulton, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. We have not been able to speak with Ms. Freeman yet, but we would ask the court sound for her.
If Ms. Kamisha Freeland's on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Does not appear so. Mr. McLean, Mr. Martin's actively trying to get someone's attention, so you might want to speak with him before you make your presentation to me.
Sure.
However you want to handle it.
Zoom easily if he moves up, if the deputies allow him to move over to the right and use the phone to call extension 25215.
All right, we'll give you a call, McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
He just wanted to take the opportunity to, in our initial conversations, we don't know what detail is going to come up, and he wanted me to point out these 2 details: that the case mentioned in DeKalb County is not open, and that he has nothing open there. He also wanted me to mention that every FTA, although there were several mentioned, was because he was incarcerated at the time, and that can be shown by the computer work. Your Honor, he is 25. He is a resident over on Thicket Way, so I realize there's child visitation going on here. That's why the contact is there, but he doesn't live there. He has a high school education, and he's local. Always has been. He works in HVAC in the past. In addition to working in HVAC areas, he has in the past worked in maintenance and waste management. We would ask the court to consider as low a bond as possible. We would ask for a signature bond. If a signature bond is not possible, Your Honor, we would ask for something more in the area of $1,000 to $2,000 or $1,500 surety bond rather than the 6. Thank you.
All right, for each charge will be a $1,500 good bond, makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Freeman. Stay away from the Shirley Drive address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Martin.
I have one question. My bond was already like preset. Like, how do that work? Like,
This is your new bond, 3,000 surety.
huh?
If the bond wasn't made before we had the hearing, it does get changed.
We had the hearing. It was made before we had the hearing.
We can call over the record room and find out what's happening.
Judge, I do have a quick announcement for position number 10.
Okay,
Their bond has been paid,
okay.
and that's it. We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one. Be safe.
Do the same. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you're ready.
Ready, Your Honor. Okay, good afternoon. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be May the 15th. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 3 is also going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 4 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial.
What's
Position,
that contact, Holly? I'm sorry.
um,
Number 5.
no further contact with Dalen Cardison.
Thank you.
Position 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 7 is reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through pretrial. Position 8 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $500 good bond. Position 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. Position 10 is reset further notice. The defendant was released. 11 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 12 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. And 13 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. Are
What's
there any,
the
huh?
yeah? What's the level on? Give me number 11 again. That must have been before I logged on.
Okay, position number 11. We didn't put a level. Is it a level 1, Your Honor?
It is.
Okay, it will be level 1.
And what's that amount?
$3,000 SOB through pretrial.
And number 8, you said was how much again? Wow, I wrote down 3,000. Sorry.
Hold on. Position number 8 is a $500 total good bond, $250 on each charge.
Thank you.
Are there any others? Your Honor?
If not, thank you. You have a good weekend. So I'll see everybody else tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great afternoon.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, y'all. Bye.